Welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to do a deep dive into the world of AI.
Okay.
Specifically, a new player that's been making a lot of noise lately,
Oh, wow.
DeepSeek.
Interesting.
And this is especially relevant to your UPSC aspirants out there,
Okay.
especially with Prime Minister Modi going to the AI summit in Paris.
Right.
This could actually be pretty important for both your mains and prelims exams.
Uh-huh.
So what's really fascinating about DeepSeek
Yeah.
is how it's kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's already challenging some of the big names in AI, like OpenAI.
Absolutely. It's really intriguing how this Chinese company has managed to develop
Right.
such a powerful AI chatbot.
Yes.
And they did it for a fraction of the cost of what some of the other companies are doing.
Yeah. So to really understand what's going on here,
Okay.
we've got some great articles from the BBC and the Indian Express.
All right.
And they paint a pretty fascinating picture.
Yeah.
So how did DeepSeek manage to make such a big splash?
Well, their models are really showing some impressive performance.
Okay.
Especially DeepSeek V3 and DeepSeek R1.
Okay.
They're not just, basic chatbots.
Right.
They can actually handle really complex math problems.
Oh, wow.
And they can even write code.
That's amazing.
And here's the kicker. They did all of this for a fraction of the cost compared to some of their competitors. Like, we're talking less than $6 million.
Wow.
Versus OpenAI's GPT-4, which cost over $100 million to develop.
That's a huge difference.
A massive difference.
It sounds like they figured out a way to make really powerful AI much more accessible.
Absolutely.
What's the secret?
So one of the things that's really interesting is their R1 model.
Okay.
It actually has a unique way of processing information.
Okay.
Unlike traditional models, which kind of try to process everything all at once, R1 does it incrementally.
Yeah.
So you can almost imagine it like solving a puzzle piece by piece rather than trying to just figure out the whole picture at the same time. And this leads to much greater efficiency and lower operating costs.
So it's not just that they're building powerful models, they're building them in a smarter way.
Exactly. A much more cost-effective way.
Yeah. And this could really change things.
Yeah.
Especially for developing countries that are trying to adopt AI technology.
Absolutely.
But they are facing some challenges, right?
They are.
The articles mention cyber attacks and things like that.
Yeah, they've had some website outages.
Right.
Likely because people are trying to disrupt their operations.
Yeah. It's a reminder that
it's a double-edged sword.
When you're successful, it can make you a target.
For sure.
And then there's also the issue of censorship.
Yes.
The articles talked about DeepSeek and how it avoids certain topics.
It does. It seems like they're kind of steering clear of certain discussions, much like other AI that's developed within China.
Like what kind of discussions?
Well, for example, they avoid giving any details about the Tiananmen Square massacre.
So that raises some questions about the balance between, advancing technology and government control.
It's a delicate balance for sure.
Yeah. So where does this leave DeepSeek? On the world stage? Some people are calling this a potential Sputnik moment for AI.
The Sputnik moment.
Yeah.
That's a very thought-provoking comparison.
Yeah.
Because if you remember back in 1957 when the Soviet Union launched Sputnik, it completely changed the game.
It did.
It sparked the space race.
Exactly.
And really intensified the rivalry between the U.S. and the Soviet Union.
And some experts are saying that DeepSeek's emergence could have a similar impact
potentially
on the AI landscape.
Yeah.
Really fueling the U.S.-China tech rivalry even further.
Right.
And creating a whole new frontier for competition.
Absolutely.
A new battleground, if you will.
And for a country like India that wants to be a major player in the AI world, this is a big deal.
It has huge implications.
Yeah. Both challenges and opportunities that need to be thought about very carefully.
And with Prime Minister Modi going to that AI summit in Paris.
Right.
This is going to be a hot topic.
It's going to be front and center.
So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about India.
Okay.
How does DeepSeek's rise affect India's place in the global AI race?
So on the one hand, it really highlights the need for India to accelerate its own AI development.
We can't fall behind.
We can't afford to fall behind.
Right.
But on the other hand, it offers a glimmer of hope as well.
Okay.
Because it shows that you can make significant breakthroughs.
Right.
Even with limited resources.
Yeah.
They challenge the idea that only the biggest spenders can really compete in this race.
So it's not just about money.
Exactly.
It's about finding those innovative solutions and being efficient with your resources.
Absolutely.
And maybe that's where India can really shine.
Potentially.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah, India has a lot to offer. When it comes to AI,
For sure.
we have so many talented engineers.
A massive pool of talent.
And a really vibrant startup ecosystem.
Absolutely.
And the government is trying to help with initiatives like Digital India.
Right. They're trying to encourage that growth.
To encourage growth.
Yeah.
But we've got to be strategic.
We do.
And focused in our approach.
We have to know our strength.
Right.
And then figure out how to leverage those effectively.
So where do we go from here?
Right.
How does India make a name for itself in this AI landscape?
Yeah.
Do we try to compete head-to-head with these giants like DeepSeek and OpenAI?
Right.
Or do we forge our own path?
That is the million-dollar question that a lot of policymakers are grappling with right now.
Yeah.
And one idea that's gaining some traction is sovereign AI.
Sovereign AI?
Yeah.
What is that?
So it's basically this idea that we need to balance cooperation with the U.S., but also focus on developing our own independent AI capabilities.
So not putting all of our eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
But how do you actually do that?
Right.
What does that look like?
Imagine that India is trying to build its own house.
Okay.
A really robust AI ecosystem.
Right.
So we can definitely learn from other designs.
Sure.
We can collaborate on certain aspects.
Okay.
But ultimately, we want to be the ones who control the blueprint.
Right.
So sovereign AI means having the ability to create and use AI solutions that meet India's specific needs without having to rely too heavily on other countries.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's about self-reliance, but also having strategic partnerships.
It's finding that sweet spot.
Yeah. But that raises some more questions, like what kind of concrete actions can India take to achieve that vision?
Well, we're talking about investing in research and development, making sure we have a skilled workforce, creating a regulatory environment that's actually supportive of AI, and then, of course, exploring different partnership models with other countries.
Yeah, it sounds like there are a lot of pieces to this puzzle.
It's a multifaceted challenge.
It is.
But there's one more challenge that we should talk about.
Okay.
And that's the potential for technology leakage to Russia.
Right.
The U.S. is particularly concerned about this.
Because of the current geopolitical climate.
Exactly.
So how does that impact India's ability to build those strong partnerships, especially with the U.S.?
Well, it definitely creates some obstacles.
Right.
Because India is trying to maintain good relationships with both the U.S. and Russia.
Yeah.
So it requires some careful diplomacy and strategic decision-making.
We've got to navigate those complexities.
Absolutely.
If we want to be a major player in AI.
For sure.
But it's not just about politics.
No.
It's also about the technology itself.
Right.
The innovation, the talent, the resources.
All of those factors come into play.
And one thing that stood out to me is this idea of cooperation. Even when there's rivalry. Right. We saw it with the U.S.-Soviet space race.
Absolutely.
And now we're seeing it again with AI.
It's a recurring theme in history.
It is.
Just like the U.S. and the Soviet Union figured out how to work together on space exploration during the Cold War.
Even though they were rivals.
Exactly.
We could see something similar happen.
Potentially.
With the U.S. and China when it comes to AI.
That's an interesting thought.
So even with this competition heating up, there's still room for collaboration.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to global AI governance.
Which is becoming increasingly important.
Yes, as these technologies keep advancing.
Absolutely. It's like AI is this powerful force.
Right.
Like nuclear weapons. It can be beneficial.
Yeah.
But it also has the potential to be very destructive.
That's a good point.
So we need that global cooperation to make sure it's not misused.
And to control those potentially destabilizing effects.
Exactly. Yeah. So finding ways to work together, even while we're competing, is going to be essential.
To make sure that AI is developed and used responsibly.
Absolutely. It's a shared responsibility.
And where does India fit into all of this?
Right.
We've talked about sovereign AI.
Yes.
But what about India's role in the bigger picture of global AI governance?
That's a question that we're going to explore in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll delve into India's potential role in shaping global AI governance.
Right.
The challenges and opportunities that are out there.
Okay.
And the specific steps that India can take to make sure its voice is heard on that global stage.
So stay tuned for part 2 of our exploration into DeepSeek and what it means for India in this ever-evolving world of AI.
Absolutely. It's going to be an exciting discussion.
It is. Welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible how DeepSeek has really shined a light on the whole global AI landscape.
Yeah, it's really forced everyone to step up their game.
Yeah, especially countries like India, who want to be major players in this field.
Yeah, they can't afford to fall behind.
So let's talk about what India can do to actually catch up.
All right.
Are there any specific steps that can be taken?
Well, one thing that DeepSeek's story really shows us is that just focusing on massive funding might not be the only way to go.
They got amazing results with a relatively small budget.
Exactly. Less than $6 million.
Compared to what?
While others were spending over $100 million.
Yeah, so maybe it's not just about the money.
It's about being smart and resourceful.
Exactly. Are there any specific areas where India could really excel with that kind of approach?
Absolutely. I think India has a huge opportunity to develop AI solutions that are specifically tailored to the needs of its population.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about applications in healthcare, agriculture, education, even governance.
Wow.
Imagine AI-powered tools that can be used in rural areas to help doctors diagnose diseases earlier.
That would be amazing.
Or AI systems that can help farmers optimize their irrigation and pest control.
That could really make a difference.
Yeah, potentially even boost crop yields and reduce water consumption.
Those are the kind of solutions that could have a real impact.
Absolutely.
On people's lives.
Yeah, and on India's development as a whole.
And let's not forget about global cooperation.
Right.
We were talking earlier about how there's potential for collaboration even in the midst of all this competition.
Yeah, it's like the U.S.-Soviet space race during the Cold War.
Right.
They were rivals.
But they still found ways to work together on certain things.
Exactly. And India has a unique opportunity here.
Okay.
To kind of be a bridge builder in the global AI landscape.
Yeah.
We can push for ethical and responsible AI development.
That's so important.
To make sure that this technology is used for good.
Right. And it doesn't just make existing inequalities even worse.
Exactly. It's about making sure AI benefits everyone.
So even with this AI race heating up, there's still space for dialogue.
Of course.
And collaboration.
Absolutely.
Even joint initiatives.
Right.
To address these common challenges.
It's about finding common ground.
Okay, so what would that actually look like in practice?
Well, I think India can really contribute to global discussions on things like AI ethics and fairness.
Yeah.
We have so much experience dealing with diversity and inclusion that we can bring to the table.
And we're a democracy that's committed to social justice.
Exactly. So we can really push for regulations that prevent AI bias.
Yeah.
And make sure that the benefits of AI are shared by everyone.
Not just a select few.
Right. It's about making sure that AI is used to empower people.
Yes.
Not to discriminate against them.
And what about data privacy?
That's another area where India can play a key role.
Okay.
As AI relies more and more on data.
Right.
We need strong safeguards to protect people's privacy.
And prevent that data from being misused.
Exactly. And India has experience developing data protection laws.
Right.
That can be really valuable in this global conversation.
It's about finding that balance.
Yeah.
Between innovation and protecting people's fundamental rights.
Absolutely.
So we've talked a lot about the global aspects of AI.
Right.
But let's zoom back in on India for a second.
Okay.
We keep saying that India needs to step up its AI game.
We do.
But what does that actually mean?
Well, it means tackling some pretty big challenges.
Like what?
One of the biggest ones is the resource gap.
Okay.
The U.S. and China are pouring money into AI research and development.
Right.
And while India's investment is growing, it's still not at the same level.
So we need to increase funding.
Absolutely.
For AI research.
Attract top talent.
Yep.
And create an environment where AI startups can really thrive.
So it's not just about keeping up with the competition.
It's about creating an ecosystem where innovation can flourish.
Where India can become a global leader in AI.
Exactly.
But money isn't the only issue.
Okay.
No. There are other factors at play.
Like what?
Data is a big one. AI models need to be trained on massive data sets.
And access to high-quality data is essential for developing effective solutions.
So India needs to come up with strategies for sharing data and collaborating.
While also making sure that data privacy is protected.
And we need to invest in computing infrastructure.
Right.
To support all of this AI development.
Yeah, it's a multifaceted challenge.
It is.
That requires a comprehensive approach.
We need investment, infrastructure,
Data access?
And talent development.
And most importantly, we need the right vision and the political will to make it all happen.
It's about learning from our past successes.
Like the Green Revolution.
Exactly.
Where India transformed its agricultural sector through strategic investments and policy reforms.
That's the kind of thinking we need.
Absolutely.
To really make a difference in AI.
It's about innovation and overcoming challenges.
And the government can't do it alone.
No.
Okay.
Well, the private sector has a huge role to play as well.
Okay, so how do we get everyone working together?
We need a strong partnership between the government, the private sector, and research institutions.
To really drive AI innovation in India.
Exactly. We need to create an environment where startups can thrive.
Yeah.
Where businesses can access the resources they need.
Right.
And where researchers can explore new ideas.
So it's about creating this vibrant AI ecosystem where everyone has a stake in the game.
And where everyone benefits.
Yeah. But through all of this, we can't lose sight of the ethical considerations.
Absolutely.
As we embrace AI.
Right.
We need to make sure it's used responsibly.
It has to align with our values.
So how do we make sure that happens?
We need to develop ethical guidelines for AI development and use.
Addressing concerns about bias, transparency,
and accountability.
Making sure that AI is empowering people.
And not being used to exploit them.
It's about making sure that AI serves humanity.
Not the other way around.
We've talked about the challenges.
Yes.
The opportunities.
The strategies.
And the ethical considerations.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have, but ultimately it all comes down to action.
Right.
What concrete steps can India take?
To actually make all of this a reality, we need a comprehensive national AI strategy with clear goals, priority areas for investment, and solutions to those key challenges.
Like data access, infrastructure, and talent development.
Exactly. It's about having a roadmap.
Yeah, a clear vision of where we want to be.
And how we're going to get there.
But it can't just be a plan on paper.
It has to be implemented effectively.
With clear accountability and measurable results.
And that requires strong leadership, effective governance, and a collaborative approach.
Bringing together the best minds from everywhere.
From government, industry, and academia.
We've covered a lot in this part of our deep dive.
We have.
But there's still more to explore.
Right.
In our final segment, we're going to shift gears a bit.
Okay.
We're going to look at specific examples of AI innovation happening in India right now.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, we'll see how AI is being used to solve real-world problems.
And making a tangible difference in people's lives.
So stay tuned for part 3 of our deep dive.
Where we'll wrap up our exploration
of DeepSeek and what it all means for India.
In this exciting world of AI.
Welcome back to the deep dive. In the last couple of parts, we really dug into DeepSeek's rise and what it could mean for India's journey into the world of AI. But now I'm curious to see how AI is actually making a difference here in India. Like, what are some of the real-world applications that are having a positive impact?
You know what's really exciting is that AI isn't just some futuristic idea in India anymore. It's actually being used in various sectors to tackle real problems, especially in healthcare and agriculture. We're seeing some pretty amazing stories come out of these fields.
Yeah, I love those stories. It's like they take this abstract concept of AI and bring it down to earth where we can see its potential. Do you have any examples?
Absolutely. Take healthcare, for instance. There are these startups that are developing AI-powered tools to analyze medical images like X-rays and scans. These tools can be a huge help to doctors, especially in rural areas where they might not have easy access to specialists. They can help detect diseases like cancer and tuberculosis much earlier than traditional methods.
So it's almost like bringing expert medical knowledge to those remote areas.
Yeah.
Potentially saving lives that might have been lost because of late diagnosis. That's pretty powerful stuff.
It is, and it's not just limited to healthcare. AI is also changing the game in agriculture.
How so?
Imagine drones equipped with AI-powered cameras that can survey these vast farmlands. They can pinpoint areas affected by pests or diseases and even help optimize irrigation by using real-time data.
It's like giving farmers this incredible ability to see and understand their crops in a way they never could before. It's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter.
Exactly. And that smarter approach can lead to bigger harvests, less water usage, and ultimately better lives for the farmers.
Those are some great examples. And it sounds like it's not just healthcare and agriculture that are benefiting from AI.
Nope. Education is another area where AI is making some serious progress.
Now that's something I'm really interested in. Education is so important for a country's growth, and it feels like AI could completely change how we learn and teach.
One really exciting area is personalized learning. AI-powered platforms can analyze a student's learning habits and then tailor the content to their specific needs and pace. It's like having a personalized tutor for each student.
That's amazing, especially in a country like India where we have such a diverse student population, all sorts of different learning styles.
Exactly. It's all about making education more inclusive and giving every student a real chance to succeed.
That's a great goal. And what about the government? Is AI being used there as well?
Definitely. We're seeing AI being used to make government services more efficient and easier for people to access. Think of those AI-powered chatbots that can answer your questions, process applications, and even help detect fraud. They can really streamline the whole interaction between citizens and the government.
It's like using technology to bridge that gap between the people and the state, making things more transparent and accountable.
Exactly. And all of these examples show how AI is already making a difference in India.
They do. But what about the bigger picture? How do we make sure that AI continues to be a force for good, both here in India and around the world?
That's the key question going forward. I think we really need to prioritize ethical considerations when we're developing and using AI. We need to make sure that these AI systems are fair, unbiased, and transparent, that they don't just end up reinforcing existing inequalities.
It's about making sure that AI serves humanity
Yeah.
and that everyone benefits from it.
Absolutely. And it requires a constant conversation between policymakers, researchers, industry leaders, and everyday people. It's a team effort to make sure AI is developed in a way that considers its impact on society, the economy, and our values.
It's a big challenge for sure, but one that we need to tackle head-on with a good mix of excitement and caution. The potential of AI to transform the world is huge, but we have to use it responsibly and make sure it benefits everyone.
And for all those UPSC aspirants listening, this whole conversation is a goldmine of potential essay and discussion topics. Think about how India can balance its rapid AI development with these ethical concerns, or how AI can be used to achieve sustainable and inclusive growth.
Those are the kind of questions that will shape India's future. And we need informed citizens and future leaders who can really wrestle with them.
Absolutely.
And to everyone listening, we hope this deep dive has shed some light on the world of AI DeepSeek's emergence and what it all means for India.
If you found this discussion insightful, don't forget to subscribe to the Deep Dive and share it with anyone who's interested in AI technology and the future of India.
And as always, keep those brains buzzing.